Hi people, I just want to show this off real quick. I made this video 4 years ago, right? 4 years ago. This is Crow 1176's UB mix on my 135 inch screen. And this is one of those fixed frame screens. So unlike motorized pull down ones where it's got the texture already, this was just basically vinyl, plastic, and just flat. I painted it. This is with a benq TH671ST, which is a short throw 1080p projector. This is what we were getting.
Good morning, everyone.
Well, what I was
getting. Because for the past 3 years, yeah. However,
look at that image. Well, can't zoom in that far because it just distorts the whole thing, but
your image at this projector, I will make sure this turn off. See, Lumi Expert. Now, Lumi Expert on benq projectors, once ambient light hits the projector screen, Lumi Expert will actually go through and change the brightness of your image by making it darker, lighter, however no calibration on this benq TH671ST.
Yeah, see, look at that right there. Look at that image.
UB metallic mix.
How beautiful is that picture?
Just changing a little bit of the settings, just so you can actually see.
Right there, I'm going through all the picture modes.
How each of my settings work. I always use this one.
I never had an issue unless I used the bright one, which I never did.
No difference between lights on and lights off.
Look at that image.
With Crow's UB metallic mix on my screen, where my projector is and how my environment is set up.
That right there you should never do. Never put a projector next to a ceiling bulb. Look at that.
Oh, I'm in the gray. Sorry for my sir, but with the expensive black paint, it was not going to work at all because, of course,
listen carefully.
Sorry for my sir, but
Now, one time, what I did, is I actually ended up buying one of those. I ended up buying one of those, dollar store poster boards that were black. Okay. And what I found is that when I was playing Spider-Man, and I made sure that I put it right over the Spider-Man character in the menu where I was going back and forth through the suits. And I had noticed that the black poster board made the image, obviously made it darker, but for some reason it gave it more texture. which I thought was kind of weird. And at the time, I thought it looked good until, you know, I was actually talking to a couple buddies of mine and Crow as well. And, the buddies that I was talking to at the time were, they were, they were basically professionals in the space of home theater and whatnot, and they were telling me that don't go black because obviously it makes the image darker. Doesn't give you the right amount of it doesn't give you the better image. It never does unless you're using a specific projector. And obviously with my 1080p projector, it was either a white screen or a gray screen. So I won't.
Issue with that is with it. Sorry for my sir, but with the expensive black paint, it was not gonna work at all because, of course, I don't have one of those large venue or 10-plus-year-old projectors with 4,000 or 5,000 lumens. No, I have a benq. I am looking at upgrading now. Crow has told me to upgrade to the Cinemax P2. Great projector. I love it.
And of course,
go up or down this is it. It's 1080. That's it.
Now, I will sit here and I will say that I actually did consider buying this expensive black paint 4 years ago. But I was talked out of it because of the reviews I had seen. There's actually a guy here on YouTube at some point in time that he had bought the black paint. I think he's in the UK. I can't remember. I believe so because of his accent. But he ended up buying some black paint from someone. And it didn't work. It actually made the image too dark and unwatchable. And I'm not going to sit here and go through YouTube and find the video. Do it yourself. It's there. This isn't... I will say, it's not slander. It's not defamation as people want to say. There is someone out there who did buy the paint, and it was too dark for their situation, their issue. And it was in a gym. They had a bunch of bright lights and whatever. Then I guess they ended up buying Crow's paint, and it worked better for a situation. There was someone in the comments saying that the black paint was doing what it was supposed to, but they were just being biased. No, it wasn't. It wasn't doing ALR. Nothing is ALR. Unless it's specifically a ALR screen. But right here is just my whole, little tidbits of, little tidbits of this projector screen,
Absolutely no difference between calibration, and standard stock out of the box.
And I still have this screen. the problem is the screen itself actually needed to be folded up, because as much as I tried and wanted to roll it, I couldn't get it. I probably should have bought like a piece of wood or like PVC pipe so I could actually, like go about and, like roll it up around something that wouldn't have been an issue. But it's folded. I have the screen. I don't use it. Why? I don't have any room for it. I don't. I mean, technically I do. Technically I do. I do have room for it in my living room. It would be great to have a big 135-inch projector screen instead of my 83-inch TV. But over the years, talk like posting on Facebook and Reddit, I have been told by people, yes, it is great and cool to have this big 135-inch screen, but we're talking 135 inches at 1080p with the input lag compared to 83 inches 4K OLED, barely any input lag. Spending the money. Now, there is no 4K OLED projector. There isn't one. There's not. I have thought about actually buying a 4K benq projector, TK710 STI, which is pretty expensive. It's like a $2,000 projector. For some reason, some people tend to go about and try to sell for $2,500, $3,000, which it's like, yeah, it's all cool and all to buy a 4K projector, and I have a ceiling can spot up top on my ceiling that I can just put a power plug and have a projector. But we're talking, even if it is 4K, it's 4K 60 compared to 4K 120/144 OLED. The OLED beats any projector I've ever used. Now, the 1080p projector that I had in this video, which I still have, with the screen paint, almost is close to my OLED. Almost. But the OLED just beats it just by probably like 10 yards or whatever. I can't, I'm not going to do a side-by-side comparison. There's just not enough room. The OLED is better. And there are people out there who tend to hate on Crow for what he did. Now, I will say, I kind of wish he didn't take down his videos of, his demonstrations, because they were cool, and, I like going back through and seeing, like, the poster board one where he had, the 5 colors, with the Frankenstein, the UB, the Cinemax, and I think maybe 4, but a lot of people talk crap about his product I never had an issue. I know that he doesn't sell projector screen paints anymore. Of course, there's reasons for that. Because, just pretty much long story short, he just got out of the game. Um, would he still sell something? Maybe. Or maybe he would just sell, like, the recipe, like, you need this, this, and this. But people sit here and talk bad about it.
At all. Nothing. Nothing has been changed. This is no calibration, guys. No calibration. Now, yes,
See, no
Crow did tell me
calibration
that
right
I
there.
need to calibrate it once I paint it. But, see, I had on this before. Okay? This setting, which I found, like I said, from a site on YouTube, a site on the internet for calibration. However, there is
Yeah, see?
absolutely no difference between